Welcome to lesson 10 of the exact process for setting up Google Analytics by the quantified web. And in this lesson, we are going to go through setting up an exclusion filter in Google Analytics to exclude any IP addresses that are known. So specifically, you want to be excluding your own IP address, or if you are an agency, then you want to be excluding the IP address of your known team members who will be working on the account. So let's go into the procedure. So the way you get in there is you go to www.thequantifiedweb.com/exactGA, put in your email address and click Get Started Today. Now we're going to be going down to create the exclude quantified web filter, and here's how to do it. Now obviously this exclude quantified web filter is what my business calls it, but you're going to be calling it what you call it. In fact, I think I will change the label, so I'll probably just call it create the exclude filter over here. Anyway, so basically, we want to be excluding IP addresses in this stage because if you are going to be testing things in your Google Analytics account, you want to exclude your own activity from whatever you do. So because this procedure is used exactly as written by my team, you'll see references to my team's IP addresses. Now, we've actually removed our IP addresses and I've put it on another file that can't be accessed. But if you are a member of the public and you're looking at this, you will be plugging in your IP address instead of our IP address. All right, so here's how you do it. So the first thing we want to do is go to our filtered data no params view. And if you've been following along from the beginning, you know what I'm talking about. If this is the first time you've seen any of these lessons, then we set up this view earlier in the lessons. All right, so to do that, we go into admin and we've got our filtered data no params view there. And we want to go into view filters and then add a filter. All right, so there's filters and add filter. Now, my team names the filter exclude the quantified web, but you will, actually we've got, my business name used to be Exclude Web Data Analytics, so I'm going to update that. But so we name ours Exclude the Quantified Web, but you will want to name yours differently. So basically you want to name it something like Exclude My IP Address, or if you're an agency, Exclude and then your business name. Alrighty. Now, for the filter type, we want to choose custom. All right, and then we want to choose exclude. There it is. Alrighty, now we want to choose IP address. Alrighty. Now, we don't do it as a predefined because we typically have more than one person working on it, and so we do it as a filter pattern instead of predefined, which assumes you've just got the one IP address. So if you just follow this, it'll work no matter how many IP addresses you have. All right, so next up you find out what is your IP address. So you do a Google search for what is my IP address. And that will tell you what your IP address is. So you want to add your IP address to the filter to exclude it from the view. Now you'll notice that this is very similar to what we did before, which was include, but we did that only for the testing view, whereas this is an exclude, and we're going to be excluding the IP address from all of the other views. Alrighty, so in our case, we have more than one person who'll be working on Google Analytics. So if we're going to be adding another one, then we do an OR symbol and we put in another IP address. In this case, I'm just setting it up with just the one. Alrighty. Now, when you have finished setting that up, just click save. We can't do a verify for this one, unfortunately. So we want to check the real-time content report to make sure that we still have traffic. All right, so we go to real-time and go to content. Now, do you remember before in an earlier lesson, we showed you that when we went to testing, we so I'm going to go to the client's website. Oh, sorry, I went to the wrong one. I'm meant to be in real-time content. Now, if you recall, we went to testing and it came up as one person on the website. So I'm just doing that again on testing just to remind you. All right, so we've got one person on the website in testing because in testing, we have our IP address is included. Now, here's the thing. So in the filtered data no params, we've now added the filter that excludes our IP address. So now if we go to real-time content report, we will not have that user on the website. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that, see, if your website has lots of people on it, you're not going to see 0. So we do need to do a bit more testing than that. So what we want to do is choose content, which is what I've done. And then we are I'm just looking at this actually. I think that actually, sorry, for a minute I was trying to work out what we're doing. All right, so we want to make sure that we did actually have traffic in general. So unfortunately, this particular website that I'm doing, it doesn't have any traffic at the moment. So even in their normal website, they don't currently have traffic. Now your website probably does have traffic normally. So we want to make sure that we still have some traffic come through. So what I've said here is if traffic is infrequent on the website, then try logging onto the website from a mobile phone with Wi-Fi turned off. The main thing we don't want to have here is to have accidentally excluded all traffic that could possibly come through from any source. So I'm just turning on my phone. I actually had it turned off for the video. Here we go. So we'll come back and do that in a moment. So basically, if traffic's infrequent and it says 0, then try logging on a mobile phone, but it must have the Wi-Fi turned off. So the internet has to be coming through a different IP address, not the one that your computer is using. And in order to make sure that the filter is fine, we do need to make sure that some traffic is coming through. So we want to make sure that the traffic from the phone is coming through. All right, so I'm doing it now. I'm turning off my Wi-Fi. So I've just turned that off. And now if I go to the website, oops, I just typoed. Now, so I've just gone from my phone and I've got my Wi-Fi turned off. So if we've done this properly, we should see one come through on the home page. There it is. Good. Now, if you don't have a phone, then just wait 30 minutes and come back. Hopefully someone's come within the last 30 minutes. All right, so we do want to make sure that our own traffic is not coming through though. So what we're going to do is we are going to, so from the IP address that we've blocked, we want to go to a page that is unusual. So I'm going to do a search. And if my page view was coming through, then we would now see a search come through here. Because it hasn't come through, then it means that it's behaving the way it should. We would see it in testing. We would actually see 2 people logged in because we'll have the mobile phone plus the plus my desktop. Actually, no, sorry. No, on testing, we will have 1 because on testing, it will just be my desktop because we've included it in. But in the unfiltered data, so unfiltered data has no filters applied at all, we'd expect this one to see 2. Keeps leaving there for some reason. So in unfiltered, okay, that didn't work. All right, yeah, here we go. Now it's up. So in unfiltered, we've got 2. So in testing, you're seeing my desktop. In the filtered data, you're seeing my mobile phone because I haven't filtered out the IP address from my phone. And in unfiltered, you're seeing both of them. And the benefit of that now is I can now do anything at all on the website. I can test forms 100 times and it won't come through into this reporting view. So if you keep in mind that we might be wanting to use this view to pull out some reports about what's happening on the website, the idea is to clear away any junk that we don't want in there. And included in junk is our own activity, especially if we're testing things out. We definitely don't want that to look like it's coming from a prospective customer. Alrighty, so that is the end of this procedure. That's a pretty short one. Now the next procedure that we are going to go through is the lowercase and crawler spam filters. So this is where we are going to improve the page, the way that pages are written in Google Analytics to make sure that it is accurate and, well, not just pages, but actual other dimensions. We'll go through that and also clear out spam. So it's going to be really useful. And I will see you in that lesson.